Dean Ambrose and Y2J. This is the first time we're mentioning Y2J, not with AJ Styles.
This whole show.
Almost, yeah, since we started this show. So, a new, fresh feud for Jericho. Bigger heel than ever. Mm-hmm. That grin on his face walking through the back last night. Does a highlight reel. He's his own guest.
Yeah. I caught that, too.
What, that he was going to be his own guest?
Yeah, after they say he is the biggest guest in highlight reel history, that's probably himself.
Well, that was a good call by you. I was wondering. I thought it could be. But I was like, well, maybe they did get somebody. I was like, maybe it'll be a good surprise. But I thought it was perfect, the way it played out. Dean comes out and interrupts him, holding his own potted plant. Now, what I wanted to ask you, because I'm pretty sure I remember this, right? Wasn't it Dean who gave him the potted plant in the first place?
For the show? I don't remember.
Dean and Roman, one of them gave him the potted plant, one of them gave him the stool. Because he said there had been some cutbacks to it, so he didn't have as much of a set as he used to. So I'm pretty sure Dean gave him that potted plant. I love that they argued over the potted plant when Dean picked it up. Uh-huh. And he said, "Don't you touch my potted plant." I love that he was very possessive of it. Dean shows up with a memo from Shane McMahon,
that was great.
Which turned out to be a California speeding ticket. Then the real memo said the highlight reel had been canceled. And the
Did it have a hole in it?
It did have a hole in it. Just Jericho's reaction to holding it up with a hole right in the middle. And then being so mad that his show has been canceled. The Ambrose Asylum is taking its place.
Yeah, he had the oak tag.
Yes.
Put it over to Jericho.
And Chris Jericho is my first guest. And can you tell us what's up with the scarf, dude?
This is $700 scarf.
He goes through all this stuff. Dean says, "So you're not going to tell us what's up with this scarf?" He tells him, "I'm going to bury you," which I thought was an interesting choice of words for Jericho to use after he beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I think this feud, I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know if it's going to be multiple pay-per-views. I don't know if it's going to be just the one pay-per-view match. I think this has the potential to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, it does. But one thing I love when Ambrose put on his clip-on tie.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
He put on the clip-on tie.
Didn't he ask him if it was on straight?
Yeah, it was on straight, and he gave him dirty deeds, and the tie fell off, and he made sure he picked it up and put it back on. Oh, man. It was so good.
See, so this is one of my problems, is that they built Dean up so well leading up to WrestleMania. And then they killed him at WrestleMania. He wasn't at Raw the next night. He has, kind of a meaningless match against Tyler Breeze on SmackDown. Last night, he got to be Dean Ambrose again. And I think Jericho being heel Jericho, Ambrose being who we know who he is going to be hilarious. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be great feud on the microphone. They're going to be able to build this up without really ever touching it. They don't have to touch each other again until they have a match. But I think this could help Ambrose kind of make up for whatever damage may have been done. Not that the people who love Ambrose have turned on him or anything, but I think they had a chance to kind of bring him up to a new level, and they just decided to say, no, we'll leave you here. He was probably in a little worse. We said it, even if he loses at Mania, he's going to be in a better place than when the match started, and he wasn't. He was probably in a little bit of a worse place. So him and Jericho, I think, is going to be a lot of fun. The Ambrose Asylum, I read something today. I know you're not a big fan of the dirt sheets, but there's a poll, I guess, on the website asking people who they want the next guest on the Ambrose Asylum to be. Uh-huh. So do we think maybe the Ambrose Asylum pops up again?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
So we think this will be a running thing.
This will be a thing.
Okay, I thought it was going to be just a last night thing.
Even when leading up to the match, this is going to be a thing.
Okay, good. Do you also, I didn't have this written down, this just kind of came to my mind right now. Roman, I don't remember if it was on Raw, SmackDown, or this past Raw. He basically said, I have this title, everybody's coming for it. It's one versus all. We haven't seen Roman and Dean together.
That's good. That's good.
It is good. But again, do you think this is a conscious decision?
Yeah.
Let's split them up. And you think that this is, for a while now, we're going to see this?
Yeah, because like I said last week about WrestleMania, everything we don't like what they do with Roman, they didn't do.
Yeah.
And they keep doing that. don't put him anywhere near the Usos because that'll just get him booed even more.
Yeah, it will.
And keep him far away from Dean because people want to see Dean as world champion instead of him. So don't put him anywhere near Dean Ambrose because I don't think AJ Styles will win. I think this AJ and Roman thing is a one pay-per-view thing. We'll get to what I think's gonna happen later, and then after that, it's gonna probably be Dean and Roman until Seth gets back.
So you think that's ultimately where it's going? Is those two will butt heads?
Oh yeah, because Dean Ambrose is still like losing to Brock Lesnar. He didn't lose in the fashion I would like him to lose, but it's still Brock Lesnar. And this Jericho thing, I think it's one pay-per-view thing too. Jericho's not on the level of Lesnar, but it'll build him back up a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be a good match to win. Like I said, it's a good guy for him to go toe to toe with verbally.
Yeah,
because that was one of the things that was really lacking for Ambrose for the longest time. Was he's a great talker and they never let him talk. And I know they didn't put as much of an emphasis on promos last night. It was more about wrestling. But they've kind of told us, based on how much promo time people get, that if you're not talking, you're not important. Like Roman Reigns, we've all said he's not a good talker. But because he's their most important guy, they always have him talking. So when Dean doesn't get to talk, it kind of pushes him down a little bit. So I think we're going to see a lot of Dean talking, being funny, being crazy, doing nonsensical stuff. Like, we may not see the wagon again. Mm-hmm. We may not even see the clip-on tie again.
Where's the wagon?
I don't know. I'm still waiting for it. Maybe if they have a rematch, maybe they'll get to do a real no-holds-barred street fight at next year's WrestleMania. I don't know.